Now, if it doesn't fire up, we're in a lot of trouble. Not good. Hi friends, I'm Sean, the Modern Yeoman, and oof, this is rough. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that I love about owning property, owning land, owning animals, but one of the things I don't love is dealing with the weather. Take a look at this puddle. We've been getting, I don't know what they call it, a gully washer. I've heard a lot of people say that. So much rain today, just buckets of it. And I still have to take care of things here around the property. Let's check on the chickens. So I'm really glad that I set the chickens up underneath the lean-to, at least their coop. It gives them a place to kind of go and hang out when the rain or the weather just gets too much to bear. That being said, there's still a few chickens that just feel the hustle and are out there looking for worms. They don't care about the rain. I've got to give some sincere respect to those chickens. As you can see, it's still pretty muddy in some of the areas under the lean-to, but there's a large patch of dry ground that the chickens can get out of the weather. I remember when I set the coop up here, initially I was a little concerned because it was kind of close to the fence, but I'm really glad that I moved it under here because they're so much more comfortable under this lean-to. What do you think, ladies? Temptation for worms way too strong, eh? Oh, you look pathetic. Okay, so the chickens have food, water, and shelter, even though they're choosing not to utilize that shelter right now. Again, the worm game is a little too strong with them right now. But whenever there's a big downpour, which actually it seems to have chilled out a little bit, thankfully, those are the three things I want to check with the chickens. That they've got their food, they've got their water, and they've got a suitable source of shelter. Water definitely won't be a problem. Again, with all of these puddles. There's actually been talk of a tornado just to the south and west of our area, of tornado warning, so tornadoes could pop up. So we need to be extra vigilant in times like this, that we're prepared, that we've got suitable shelter in case the worst does happen and a tornado springs up somewhere nearby. I had to take my coat off because it seems like it's getting a lot warmer, which I think is another potential warning sign for tornadoes. And there's rapid shifts in the temperature, especially when the atmospheric conditions are rainy like this. I'm no meteorologist, but that's the kind of stuff that I think they look for. And you know, as freaked out as I get about rain events like this, it's actually really educational to walk around the property and see how these big, massive downpours affect the land. Where things pull up, where the creeks start to fill up and overflow, where we're having troubles around our house. Not be flying into that, man. Not if I were you. The sky is green. It's hard to pick up on camera. That can't be good. And it's like pitch black over there. Next to our safety, the humans, and the animals' safety, the chickens and the cats, the next biggest concern on my list is the sump pump. What's the sump pump? Basically, our crawl space floods in heavy rain events like this. And so what the sump pump does, I'll show you what it looks like. Basically, it squirts the water out from the crawl space. There's a little pit down in the crawl space that once it reaches a certain level, it just pushes the water out. It just drains it out and spits it out into the yard. Now that thing's electrically operated. So if the power goes out, then our sump pump goes out. And if our sump pump goes out, our crawl space will start flooding. And if our crawl space starts flooding, well, then our house starts flooding. It's dangerous. Whenever we're getting weather like this, where there's been thunder and lightning and our lights have been flickering, it's imperative that I have a backup source of electricity for that sump pump. That's the primary reason why I bought my generator. So I'm gonna get my generator out of the tool shed, bring it into the front patio here, and have it ready just in case the power goes out. There's one minor issue. I haven't started this generator up in some time. It's been a few months. I think the last time I used it was when I was using the electric chainsaw down in the woods. I think that was a couple months ago. And so I don't know how reliable the generator is gonna be after that long of a period of not using it. So what I'm gonna do is gonna bring it out here, get some gas in it, and try and fire it up. Now, if it doesn't fire up and our power goes out, we're in a lot of trouble. But if it works as it should, then we should be okay if the power goes out. So I'm gonna go get it and let's see what happens. Okay, it's a little wet, but it seems to be in good shape. I'm gonna put some gas on it and try and get her started. Cross your fingers. Joke. Fuel valve on. Make sure the on button is on. Not good. Okay, didn't want to start up at first, but I think she's running now. I'll let it run for another minute, maybe two, just to make sure. Okay, so I think it was just a little bit shy at first. I was a little concerned that it didn't go that initial try. I may not have hit the choke quickly enough, but the second time around it ran perfectly well. I let it run for maybe 2 minutes or so just to check, and it was fine. Now I only put a little bit of gas in there because I don't want to fill the thing up if I don't end up needing to use it. I try and keep it empty when it's not in use. So I just put a little bit of gas in there, and I've got the gas can nearby should I require to use it this evening. So I'm gonna move it over to the front patio where I'll also have an extension cord that I can plug in the sump pump if I need to, and they'll be ready to go. So if the power goes out, I can run out, get the generator started, plug in the sump pump, and my house won't flood. All right, so I've got my extension cord and I've got my generator, both ready to go. Even if the rain is torrential, this house is not getting flooded, not on my watch.